Hey guys, Rod5 here with episode number 27 of our Arsenal career mode on FIFA 21. We're kicking it off by looking at this. Yes, we said in the press conference we're going to win the lot. We're going to win the league. I've said it now. You've seen the team in the previous episode. You've made some recommendations of signings we're going to make. They will be in the next episode. But as for this one, we're going to kick off the Premier League and we're going to play the first 3 games, which is going to be against West Ham, Aston Villa and Bournemouth. So 3 relatively easy games. West Ham probably being the hardest, but that made slightly easier by the fact that we're playing them at home. And the first chance is going to come 9 minutes in. Obviously we're playing the Diamond 4-1-2-1-2 narrow formation this season. So Bellerin and Tierney are going to be vital, and straight away Bellerin is showing how important he is to the team. He plays it across to Martinelli, but he just slightly messes up the shot there and it is blocked out for a corner that nothing happens from as we enter the quarter of an hour mark. Chance here for West Ham, but Saliba, the man returning from loan, intercepts the ball and starts a little counter-attack in our favour as Aubameyang's played through by Martinelli. It's going to be laid back across to him, one-on-one with Fabianski. He was pretty much alone there. He had a large space around him. He was social distancing from the West Ham defenders and he tucked it into the back of the net. Team in at 1-0. And that is exactly what we want to see to kick off this season, is our strikers working together to get the job done. As Aubameyang dinks one over the top to Tierney. Got another chance here to double our lead almost immediately after we score the first. And once again, it is Martinelli scoring. And again, those wing-backs are going to be so important for us this season. Tierney with a brilliant cross and Martinelli rises the highest. Tucks it into the back of the net and he makes it 2-0, doubling our lead. And we're only a few minutes into this game. It's really good to see as Maddison plays a brilliant ball through to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Slows down, strikes it, maybe could have got a bit closer and maybe could have went for the near post. But it's a decent strike in the end, but West Ham is saved and they do clear it upfield. Unfortunately, can't make it 3 to ourselves as 35 minutes into the game. Soucek in the middle, plays the ball to Lanzini. Lanzini knocks one through to Sebastian Haller. Looks hit by Saliba, does so. Even though we've pressurised him really nicely there, forced the man across. That meant there was a man in Fornals open on the end of the 6-yard box. It's just played across to him by Haller, who did incredibly well to evade getting tackled there by Saliba and the other defender that came across to him. No clean sheet for us on the opening day, unfortunately. But we go again as Ceballos is played through here. A couple of step-overs to get the better of Cresswell on his left foot. And that is his first goal since becoming a permanent member of the Arsenal squad. 3-1, regaining our 2-goal lead before half-time. And it is the Spanish sensation in the midfield that does a lovely couple of step-overs to just bamboozle his defender. And a nice finish on his weaker left foot. As we're 2 minutes into the second half, Aubameyang looking to find some space, he finds Maddison. Maddison's going to turn, hold it up, and he's just going to wait. And what he does here is he turns back inside, dinks it over the top of his man. Aubameyang goes for a flying kung fu kick, but it is nicely saved by the former gunner Fabianski in the West Ham goal. As there's a chance here for them to try and get their second goal, but Gabriel does what Gabriel does best, and he makes the tackle as Maddison knocks through Aubameyang, uses his pace against the whole defence there. Aubameyang does. He's got a man in the middle to aim at. He's going to do so back to Maddison. Poor header. Second shot is well saved by the leg of Fabianski, denying us of making it 4. You can see what Aubameyang was doing there. He could have quite easily scored that himself, but he wanted to get the confidence in the new boys. And yeah, speaking of new boys, we're going to bring on some fresh subs. In the main one being Maitland-Niles in the midfield. He's been incredible these past few games he's played in. Played in the FA Cup final and he obviously did absolutely brilliantly. As Maddison was played through one-on-one, really should have tucked that one away. But we laid across to Martinelli. He goes for a strike. Second strike, saved nicely again. And they are going to get the ball cleared. Really unfortunate not to have scored so many more in this game. But we're just kind of fluffing our lines when we get to the shooting opportunity as Gabriel does what Gabriel does best and makes a brilliant tackle on the last man as Martinelli plays a little 1-2 with Aubameyang. It's a well-weighted ball into the space. Couple of step-overs before he takes the final shot and he puts it in at that near post. And that's a hat-trick for Martinelli on match day number 1. 4-1 against West Ham. And we're not done there, I'll tell you that now. As we've got a chance here with 2 minutes remaining. Tierney out on this left-hand side. Gilbert is not quick enough and it's played to Maitland-Niles. He dinks it up for himself and then he just heads it home. His self-assist. He dinks it up for himself and he heads it home. 5-1. Maitland-Niles in off the bench, and he's just earned himself a place in the first team right there, ahead of Thomas Partey, just from coming on and scoring. Obviously, Ceballos has scored this game as well, so, they've got to play in the next game. Look at this, he dinks it over his man, and then he just heads it home. Yeah, it levitates in the air for a little bit longer than it probably should, and he gets a little bit more power on it because of that. But 5-1 is going to be the final score. We pick up 3 points on the opening day. Martinelli picks up the match ball, and it was a brilliant all-round performance against West Ham to kick off the season. And if every game is going to be like that, we are in for a good one. As Gabriel Martinelli, obviously he's going to start in this game. We do need a rotational striker. And again, we're going to sign a new rotational striker and centre-back in the next episode. It's going to be back to Livecom in the next episode. But for Villa, no real changes when you look at their team, apart from the fact that Grealish has obviously left. And they replaced him with Herman, the German, but that was last season. As for ourselves, this lineup is pretty much going to be the main one we use. Probably most likely rotation from team to team is going to be Maitland-Niles in for either Ceballos or Thomas Partey. That's going to be the most it's going to be our version of Maurizio Sarri when he had the Barkley and Kovacic substitution all the time. But 9 minutes in, it's a great chance again for Martinelli. But a lovely little block by the defenders. Maddison finds Aubameyang. But Tom Heaton denies us 10 minutes into the game. Could have had 2 goals. We couldn't have had 2 goals. We had 2 really good scoring opportunities, both of which weren't really taken. And we go all the way to the second half. The first half was a bore fest, really, all things considered. But 3 minutes into the second half, Maddison out to Ceballos. Ceballos knocks it further to his fellow Spaniard in Hector Bellerin. Drilled across the floor. Not quite finding anyone there as Matty Cash dinks it up to Douglas Luiz. He plays it to Mollet. And again, we're just trying to find the space. It's Hector Bellerin being the main attacking threat for us from his crosses. As Martinelli's played through from James Maddison. Just tried a little bit too much there. As he flicks it over the defender's head. It's then passed into the path of Dani Ceballos. Really unlucky from the Aston Villa defender, but he played it straight into the path of Ceballos. Maybe he wasn't looking. Maybe he thought it was just his keeper there. But he played it straight into the path of Dani Ceballos, who just a nice little scissor kick into the back of the net. And we are 1-0 up in this game. Thankfully, after all of these wasted chances, as Ceballos knocks it through to Martinelli. This time, hopefully he won't waste it, and this time he slots it into that bottom right-hand corner. Cool, calm and collectedly. It's a lovely little finish. Doubling our lead, and he's got 4 goals this season in 2 games. Absolutely incredible. Dani Ceballos has got 2 goals in this season already as well. So he's been a really good signing, clearly. Look to pay back that money we paid for him. The record-breaking transfer we paid for him already. As Reece Nelson plays it to his other fellow substitute in Wilf Zaha. Little elastico past Tom Heaton, and he passes it into the open net. 3-0, 3 points coming with us back home to the Emirates. Wilf Zaha coming off the bench, playing in that striker position. Not his natural position, but he can do a shift there. But we will not be retraining him as a striker, because I think it's going to take him 5 years, and he's already 28, 29 years old, so yeah, we may as well just leave it. As for Gabriel Martinelli, he scored 5 goals in his last 3 games apparently, so he must have scored a few in the pre-season tournament. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of the Community Shield. He scored in the Community Shield. But we're back at the Emirates, and this is the final game of the episode. We will be taking on Bournemouth, newly promoted. Obviously they got relegated and bounced straight back up. And as for their lineup, they've got Von Balsam in goal. A couple of recognisable players there from actually playing for Bournemouth, and they've obviously got Wesley from Aston Villa up top. So, if I'm being honest, they're probably going to go straight back down. That squad was not the strongest. As Aubameyang plays the ball to Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles still in the team. He's performed well in the games that he's played. As Aubameyang through 1-on-1. It's a lovely fingertip save from the goalkeeper there, denying us the chance of going 1-0 up in this game. Really, really, really nice save. As Martinelli plays through James Maddison, cuts back inside, skips past his man. He's just going to look to knock it through. He kind of trips up on Dani Ceballos, but that actually kind of helps us in the long run, as it is Aubameyang that plays through Maitland-Niles with 2 minutes remaining in the half, and he makes it 1-0. Another goal for Maitland-Niles this season. But yeah, if Maddison hadn't been slightly tripped up by Ceballos, we wouldn't have played that pass, and eventually that may not have even led to a goal. But thankfully for ourselves it did, as here, a lovely chance for Aubameyang. It's just caught slightly behind him, and from the resulting corner, We're going to play it to the edge of the box to make the null. So he's going to take one touch and the second touch. That just seemed to float for so long in the air. But it's another great save by the goalkeeper, denying us a chance of doubling our lead. It's Thomas Partey who's come on at this point. He takes a nice little touch, leads it back to Saka. Whips it across to Bellerin. And brilliant reaction save again. Yes, Bellerin is offside, but the reactions there from the goalkeeper, incredible. Maybe their keeper will keep him up this season, because he has been really good against us so far today. As Saka down this left-hand side, he's playing at left-back here today, into Maddison. Maddison out wide to Bellerin, just switching the play. He's going to look to whip it across to the back post to Aubameyang on the volley, wide of the post, and that is going to be that for this game. The final chance is going to come from a corner, but nothing is going to come from it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please like, subscribe, and peace. I'll see you in the next one.